in Project 4, we're going to take a look at how we can publish a worksheet as a PDF file. I'll also just briefly allude to the XPS document, how we can save a worksheet as that as well. And we're also going to look at saving a workbook or worksheet as a web page. And then finally, again, I'm just going to briefly show you how to save a workbook and attach it as a file to an email message. And then finally, we'll save a workbook using Microsoft's SkyDrive website, which is new in 2010. We're going to begin by saving a worksheet, and actually call it publishing a worksheet as a PDF document. And in the middle of page 286, you'll see there that a PDF document is a workbook that's saved as a fixed layout format. And PDF is actually referred to as a portable document format. But it's been developed by Adobe, and it's become kind of a common choice for sharing files with people outside of an organization. In other words, those individuals may not have Excel on their computer, and so as long as they have the Adobe Reader installed on their computer, they can open this file and at least view the information, although they can't make changes to it. The Adobe Reader application is a free application that's available from the Adobe website, so you can certainly download that. They give you the website for that on page 286. It's www.adobe.com. So you can certainly keep that on your computer and download it and then open it, view not only Excel files but a variety of files that have been saved as PDF files. So to publish a worksheet as a PDF file, they actually want us to pull up this cut rate pilot report workbook, and it's been saved under the new name, and I've already done that. So we're just pulling that up again, and then to save it as a PDF file, we're going to go to the File tab, Save and Send category, and then you'll notice under File Types, Create PDF XPS Document. So click on that, then notice on the right hand side it gives you some descriptions of what a PDF and XPS document is. And then we'll go ahead and click on Create. We're going to put it in the appropriate folder, which I guess I was there and didn't know that. But anyway, you can keep the same file name. Notice the type here is PDF. We're going to go ahead and leave it open after publishing, and then we'll click on Publish. And by default, it'll automatically open up Adobe Reader because I do have that on my computer. And you can see that it opens it up. You could increase the percentage of that so you can see it a little bit better. But notice it's just a screenshot basically of that workbook. I can't go in and make changes to it or change or add rows or delete columns or anything like that. It's mainly just for preview purposes. Okay, so I'm going to close out of the Adobe Reader. Takes me back to the original workbook. And the same thing applies to publishing a worksheet as an XPS file. Again, you have to have the XPS viewer in order to pull this up. I am not going to go through those steps. If you'd like to do that, you can do so in Project 4B. But the Adobe Reader is probably the more common of the two applications and how those are saved. Alright, then we can also do the same thing with our workbook here. We can save a worksheet as a web page. And again, a web page would enable you to place that particular piece of information from your worksheet onto a web server, the intranet or intranet. Either of those places you can take the information, which again, the person that you're sharing the information with, they wouldn't necessarily have to have Excel as long as they had access to the internet. So to save as a web page, we're still going to use this same workbook as I mentioned previously, and then we're going to go back to the File tab. They're going a different route again, just another alternative, Save As. Again, we want it into the correct folder. By default, notice it's saving it as a workbook, but we want to change that to a single file web page. So scroll down just a little bit, single file web page. And then the page title right now is Chief Financial Officer. And if we wanted to change that title, which we do, I'm just going to click on that Change Title. And the title they want is Cut Rate Car Rentals. pilot project report. All right, immediately you can see that the page title has been changed there. We also want to keep it as just the entire workbook. You could also make a selection for just the sheet there, but we're going to keep it as the entire workbook. And then we're going to go ahead and publish this. That takes you in a Publish as Web Page dialog box. Again, you have options of taking in the entire workbook, items just on sheet 1, range of cells, all kinds of things there that you can put in there. We're going to keep it at items on sheet 1. Title shows again, tells you where you're going to save it. If you have it on the wrong or in the wrong folder or on the wrong storage media, you can click on that. That'll take you right back out to where we were previously, and I can specify where I want to save it. And then we're going to go ahead and open this published web page in a browser. So I'm going to choose that and click on Publish. That'll bring us into what appears to be a browser window. I'm going to reduce that just a little bit, but you can kind of see that it appears to be an Internet Explorer. This is what it would actually look like if it were placed on the web page. Okay. All right, and then once you're done viewing that, we can close out of the browser window and let's cancel it, yeah. And that'll take us back to the workbook. And then continuing on, if you wanted to send this workbook or this worksheet as an attachment to an email message, you can certainly do that as well. Now, I'm not going to be able to do it on my computer because I don't have the necessary email account that they're wanting us to use here, which is Outlook. I don't have that configured on my computer. So, but to go through those steps, you can go through the File tab, and again, save and send, and then send using email, that category, and then you'll notice on the right hand side, attach a copy of this workbook to an email, send as an attachment. This is where mine stops, but if you were hooked up to Microsoft Outlook and already had that configured, it would take you directly into Microsoft Outlook, which would appear very similar to what you see at the top of page 293. And that particular screen at the top, step 1E and 1D, show you what it would look like in Outlook. It would give you an opportunity to put in who you're going to send the email to, the subject, and then the attachment would already be there, and then you could type in your message, which is shown there in step 1D, and then you could send it from there. Okay, so I'm kind of limited as to what I can show you, but you can certainly try that on your own, especially if you have Microsoft Outlook configured on your computer at home. All right, and then the last portion of Chapter 8 is saving a workbook to the Windows SkyDrive, which is a very cool feature that has been added to the 2010 Office Suite. And the Windows Live SkyDrive, and I'm just referring you to the bottom of page 293. If you want to read through it, you can, but it's really cool. It allows you to save and share documents to a storage location on the internet. And you can save your workbook on the internet, and then you don't have to use a flash drive or carry that with you. You can just save it to the internet, and then you can go to another computer, another location, and access it from the internet as well. So great tool for sharing and saving information via the internet. Doesn't cost anything, but you do have to have a Windows Live account, and that gives you free storage up to 25 gigs, which is quite a bit. So we'll see how long that lasts. But if you don't have an account already, again at the bottom of page 293, you just sign up for this free account at windowslive.com. And I've already done that, so that'll save us a little bit of time here. But in Project 4E, I do want to take you through the steps of saving to that drive. So we'll just use this same workbook. But you'll go to the File tab, and then on the left-hand side there again, Save and Send, and then Save to Web. And then notice on the right-hand side, if I hadn't logged in, it would ask me to log in at this point. You can kind of see too, you'd have to sign in. If you look at the middle of page 294, there's a sign in option, then it asks for your email address and password. And so I've already, like I said, signed up for this account. So I would have to, if I wasn't already logged in, I would have to sign in with my email address and my password. And then it takes me to this particular screen, which you see at the bottom of page 294 and on your screen right now. Okay, and then you can specify where you want to save it. We're going to leave it in My Documents. Okay, so it's kind of a protected area. And then Save As. And then we're just going to keep the same name there. I'm going to click Save. Notice it's uploading to server. Okay, now I'm going to close out of this for just a minute, and we're going to open up Internet Explorer. Try to get this sized here so we can see what's going on. And then we're going to go to their website. And again, this would be, you know, if you've saved it and now you're going to another computer, another building, wherever, another state, whatever, you would just go into your web browser, Internet Explorer, whatever, and you'd go to their website, http://live.com. And then you sign in. You'll notice I have a sign in there, and we'll type in our password. And then once you're in this Windows Live area, then just going to see some of these other things that were in here. We can go to SkyDrive, and then just go ahead and click on that. And then that takes you to the SkyDrive, and on the left hand side, My Files. I'm already viewing that. My Documents is where I saved. And you'll notice here the cut rate. If I just click on that, then I can pull up. It'll automatically open Excel. Pull that into it, and I can view those using the Excel features. So now this is a web app. It probably is limited as far as some of the features. If I click on Open in Excel, it should go ahead and open up Excel as long as I have that on my computer and I can see then the file in the Excel application. If your computer doesn't have Excel on it, then that's where we saw the web app, which again is probably going to be limited as to what features are available to you. So you just kind of have to play that by ear, and hopefully whatever computer that you're on, when you're pulling up your files, you'll have the appropriate application. Alright, so very cool way of being able to save your files without having a flash drive anymore. Alright, with that we will conclude Chapter 8. The concepts check are on pages 298 299. And as always, do the assessments that are at the end of Chapter 8 just to ensure that you understand the features and the concepts that are in that chapter. And as always, if you have questions, feel free to email me or call me.